All right, welcome to our introduction to inequalities. So what exactly is an inequality? Recently, we have been working with equalities, right? With our equations, we know that two things are equal to each other. Here, x is equal to 3. In inequalities, we are going to get some sort of relation, and you guys have likely seen these before. But we have a few different signs here. We have x could be greater than 3, right? This sign right here is a greater than. This sign is a less than, and actually I'm going to undo that because I want you guys to know this right here is a greater than. I don't want to underline that, otherwise we change it. Okay, that sign means greater than. This sign here means less than. And then we have greater than or equal to whenever it has the line underneath it. And then we have less than or equal to. So the way that I like to think of it is whatever way this sign right here opens up, that is the larger side. So this side over here, the right side, would have to be larger than the left side because it opens up to the right. This is greater than this side because it opens up to the left. And again, this side opens up to the right, so this side has to be greater than that side. So now, what if we want to solve inequalities and we want to be able to graph inequalities? Well, this is telling us that x can be any value that's less than negative 3. So it could be negative 3.1, negative 3.001, negative 4, negative 1,000. It's any number that is less than negative 3. So how exactly do we show that answer? Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we put a circle around that negative 3. We say, okay, well, at negative 3, and then every value that's less than it. And less than means to the left on the number line. So we circle that number, and then we shade in everything to the left, because everything to the left of negative 3 is going to be a solution. In this case, because it's a less than and it's not less than or equal to, we keep an open circle around negative 3. Negative 3 is not less than negative 3. So we can't include that in our solution. So we are going to keep that as an open circle. For this other one over here, this green one, x is greater than or equal to 4. Well, greater than is everything to the right of it on the number line. As I go further and further to right, I'm getting greater and greater and greater. So that includes values like 4.00001, 5, 12, 1,000, 8,000. All of those would be solutions. So I'm going to circle 4 and then shade in everything to the right. And then the only thing I need to do is, well, 4 is greater than or equal to 4 because it's equal to. So I need to make sure that I shade that in. Color that circle in because 4 is included in this answer. All right, and what if we get an inequality like this? Well, this is the same thing as solving an equation. Just like when we were solving equations, we're going to take the same exact steps. So we're doing those order of operations in reverse order here, right? The inverse operations. So we're going to subtract 6 from each side. Subtract 6. We're left with 4x is less than or equal to negative 16. And then we divide by 4. Divide by 4, we get x is less than or equal to negative 4. So I put a filled in circle at negative 4, and then because it's less than, we are going to the left. And you can always check your answers on these just by picking a number that falls in the shaded region and plugging it back in. So let's say, what happens if we try negative 6? If I try negative 6, is that going to work? 4 times negative 6 plus 6. Well, 4 times negative 6 gives me negative 24. Negative 24 plus 6 is negative 18, which, yep, that is definitely less than or equal to negative 10, so we know we did it correctly. All right, now we need to be careful whenever we divide or multiply by negatives, okay? This is where things can get a little bit tricky, but we're going to take a look at it here. So in this problem, I have negative 2x is greater than 4. Well, I want to get x by itself, right? Just like before. So let's divide both sides by -2. Divide by -2, and I get x is greater than or equal to 4 divided by -2 is -2. All right, so x is greater than -2. Let's see what happens. I'm going to put an open circle around -2 and then shade everything to the right because it says greater than. And now let's just test this out. Let's see what happens if I plug in one of these numbers. I'm going to plug in, let's go with 3. Well, -2 times 3, that's -6. Oh, I know -6 is not greater than 4, right? -6 is definitely less than 4. So because when we multiply and divide by negatives, it's going to switch the other side of the problem. We actually need to flip this inequality sign. We have to flip the inequality sign whenever we multiply or divide by a negative. All right, so I'm going to write that quickly. Flip the inequality sign. Flip the inequality sign whenever you multiply or divide by a negative. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative. All right, so instead of down here going open circle and then to the right, and I know I just erased half that, we're just going to go open circle and then to the left. If we plug in these values, well, let's see what happens. Let's plug in -5. -2 times a -5 is a +10, which that is greater than 4. So my answer should not be x is greater than -2. My answer is x is less than -2.